We do not begin with an answer. We begin with an observation of the noise. Look around you. We exist in a landscape. It is engineered for the fragmentation of the soul. We are born into a modern architecture of distraction. It is a system designed by a modern demiurge. It ensures that your attention is never your own. From the moment of waking, the ego is bombarded. It is told that its value is a variable. It depends on its possessions. It depends on its status. It depends on the fickle validation of a digital crowd. We have become atmospheric sensors for the chaos of the world. If the market dips, we feel a phantom pain. If a stranger speaks a word of vitriol, our pulse quickens. We have tethered our very nervous systems to things. These things do not know we exist. This is the first layer of the illusion. It is the belief that your peace is a product of your environment. It is a lie. It keeps you reactive. It keeps you small. It keeps you a prisoner of the external. The ancient Stoics looked at this same chaos. They saw it for what it was. It was a storm. They realized that you cannot stop the storm. You cannot reason with the wind. You can only decide where you stand within it. The foundational mechanic of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. It is often misunderstood as a form of passivity. It is quite the opposite. It is a ruthless and tactical pruning of the spirit. It is the realization that your energy is a finite resource. Every second spent worrying about the indifferent is a second stolen. It is stolen from your own sovereignty. Consider the indifference. Your reputation is out of your control. Your health and your aging are ultimately out of your control. The weather and the economy are out of your control. The political tides are out of your control. The deep-seated neuroses of your neighbors are out of your control. When we attach our identity to these things, we are building a house on shifting sand. We are handing the keys to our psychological fortress to a ghost. True power begins with the brutal recognition of the boundary line. On one side is the infinite chaos of the universe. On the other side is the small and sacred territory of your own mind. This is where your will lives. This is where your perception is forged. Everything else is merely data. To master this boundary is to begin the process of psychological calibration. It requires you to look at every event. Look at every catastrophe. Look at every minor inconvenience. Ask one question. Is this mine to manage? Or is it the world's? If a man cuts you off in traffic, that is his character. It is not your reality. If a project fails despite your best efforts, that failure belongs to the past. It does not belong to your present capacity. You must learn to strip the event of its emotional clothing. Beneath the layers of judgment, there is only the raw event. The rest is a story we tell ourselves. This level of radical ownership is not for the many. It is for the few who refuse to be driven by impulse. If you find resonance in this architecture, join us. If your mind is a territory worth defending, subscribe to this frequency. We are building a lineage of the disciplined, but we must go deeper. It is not enough to simply categorize the world. We must categorize the self. The Stoics called it prosoche. It is the continuous and vigilant attention to the inner state. Today, we understand a layer they only glimpsed. It is the subconscious. Beneath the rational surface of your Stoic exterior, there is a deep well. It is an unexamined well of shadows. This is the part of you that craves the things you claim to despise. It is the part of you that fears the dark. It seeks comfort at the expense of growth. It reacts with ancient and reptilian anger when its ego is bruised. Until you make this unconscious material conscious, it will direct your life. You will call it bad luck. You will call it fate. But it is not fate. It is the shadow. It is the unlit corner of your own citadel. You have refused to inspect it. True Stoicism is the ultimate form of shadow work. It is the act of standing at the threshold of your own mind. Refuse to let a single thought pass through without identification. Why did that comment trigger your rage? What old and buried insecurity is being threatened? Why do you seek the approval of people you do not respect? When the shadow rises, the ego pulls the strings of your nervous system. Do not suppress it. Suppression is merely a delay of the explosion. Instead, you must illuminate it. You bring the shadow into the light of reason. You say to the impulse, I see you. I know where you come from. But you do not hold the vote. This is the tactical calibration of the soul. You are not a victim of your biology. You are not a victim of your history. You are the architect of your response. You catch a reactive impulse. You choose a reasoned action instead. Every time you do this, you are rewiring the circuitry of your brain. You are transforming from a slave of the subconscious. You are becoming a master of the present. This is the work of the inner citadel. It is not built in a day of inspiration. It is built in 1,000 hours of vigilant work. The work is boring. The work is repetitive. It is built in the moments when you are tired. It is built when you are stressed. It is built when the world feels like it is closing in. There is no external escape. There is only the internal ascent. Do not merely listen to these words. Execute them. The boundary of the inner citadel is now established. The shadows of the subconscious have been named. They have been integrated. We arrive at the most difficult threshold of the Stoic path. This is the transition from mere endurance to active transmutation. The Stoics called it amor fati. It means the love of one's fate. The modern ego finds this concept repulsive. Our culture is built on the avoidance of pain. It is built on the curation of comfort. It is built on the constant negotiation with reality. We want to make reality fair, but the universe is not fair. It is indifferent. To love your fate is not to like what happens to you. It is to recognize reality. What happens to you is raw material. It is the material required for your evolution. Think of the fire. A weak flame is extinguished by a gust of wind, but a great fire is different. A blazing furnace takes everything thrown into it. It turns it into heat and light. The wind kills the candle, but the wind only feeds the forest fire. This is the shift in perspective we must achieve. We do not ask the universe to stop the obstacles. We ask to become the fire. We ask to thrive on the obstacle. Consider the nature of friction. Without friction, there is no traction. Without the resistance of the air, the bird cannot fly. Without the weight of gravity, the bone withers. The ego views friction as an insult. It sees a personal attack by the universe. Why is this happening to me? That is the cry of the uncalibrated mind. The Stoic rephrases the question. This is happening for me. That difficult colleague is your training in patience. That financial setback is your training in resourcefulness. That physical pain is your training. It is training in the separation of the soul from the body. Suppose your life were a smooth and frictionless path. Suppose you had constant success and validation. You would be a psychological infant. You would have no armor. You would have no depth. You must welcome the storm. The storm is the only thing that proves you are a pilot. Stop fighting reality. Start loving it. Love even the parts that burn. Then you become untouchable. You are no longer waiting for the world to behave. You do not need the world to behave so you can feel okay. You are okay because you have decided. Everything that happens is an opportunity for virtue. This is the ultimate alchemy. You turn the lead of misfortune into the gold of character. The threshold of this calibration is near, but we must confront the final mystery. Philosophy is not a hobby for the elite. It is a survival strategy for the human spirit. The words of Marcus Aurelius were not written for the lecture hall. They were written in the trenches. They were written in exile. They were written on the throne of a crumbling empire. These are tactical manuals. They are for the preservation of the self. You will now move back into the world. But look closely at the world. Is there truly an outside? Or is everything you see a projection of your own internal architecture? The storm you fear is made of your own judgments. The enemy you despise is made of your own shadow. The obstacles that block your path are the boundaries of your own mind. When you realize this, the fear evaporates. You are the primary administrator of your own existence. No one is coming to save your peace of mind. No government will save you. No partner will save you. No amount of wealth will give you stability. You must build stability within yourself. Look into the mirror of your life. Do not see a victim. Do not see a survivor. See the architect. You have the power to collapse the wave of chaos into a single point of order. You can stand in the center of the void and remain unmoved. This is the true inner citadel. It is the realization that the universe does not happen to you. The universe happens through you. Build a fortress. Make it impenetrable. Make it compassionate. Be a person of such depth that the world cannot disturb you. The shallow waves should not disturb your seabed. This is the path of the Stoic. It is a path of silence. It is a path of action. It is a path of absolute ownership.